right, cool cats, coming up here really soon. We've got a brand new hit for you. It's from an artist. She might be a little bit unknown. Her name's Carina. It's called In Love with a Frenchman.
I'm in love with a Frenchman.
That's good.
You want the trash? I got it all for you. Let's rehash the mess together.
Hello, I'm Wilko. Welcome to Rehashed, back with another episode of Married at First Sight Australia, Season 12, and this is episode 36. It is time for the final din-dins of the experiment. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to get this done. Some excellent supporters have donated since the last video, and I really do appreciate it. You can do it too. Go to rehashed.com.au/donate or click the thanks for the love heart just below this video. Also, if you love Mafs, then you should probably become a member. There's some members-only videos of a season that you are gagging for, even though I never wanted it to see the light of day, but I've done it for you, and it's now there. Let's get into this episode. As we do a whip around, we're going to look at Paul in his own little love lab rat suite now, and he is breaking down while wearing his millennial ankle socks. But he misses Carina. And he keeps stating the obvious, that it was just stupid. Carina is doing her most like, oh, I'm somber, but I'm still sexy with this off-the-shoulder hoodie look. I don't know, as I look at this, I'm like, is she ready to be in a film clip? Maybe for some popular rapper that she's kissed on the mouth. If she was a music artist herself, what would that look like?
I'm in love with a Frenchman. In love with a Frenchman. He punches doors and can frequently ghost. I know I love him, but I love Jesus most. He'll lift me up and then call me a snob. Wellness advisor is not a real job. A Frenchman, oh, kind of a Frenchman.
Oh, that was dumb. She goes on about how she's forgiven him before, and now maybe it's a no to another of the round of forgivenesses. Over with Jack, she is crying again, and there is at least some moisture coming out of somewhere during this crocodile tear sesh.
You look so beautiful.
That's it, re-angle the camera.
It makes me sad that this could be our last dinner.
It's been unbelievable for me. Got me gifts, drank some red wine, we cooked together, made pasta. I didn't know how open to that I was going to be, but I just let it flow.
You didn't know how open... I can't get over the noises. I don't know if they added them in post or if that's exactly the sound of her snot coming out of her nose during that. Anyway, it's a human reaction, and at least we saw some moisture. Okay, Ryan, so you didn't know how you'd go with drinking wine and making pasta together? Okay. They're also talking in past tense, like this was a real marriage. Was being the key word here, so clearly we all now know that it's done. All right, quick update. Beth and TJ, not good. Jeff and Rhi, good. Still the same as usual. Well, apparently. But according to the shady voiceover lady, Adrian and Awhina are feeling something different.
Wife Awhina is still crestfallen.
Crestfallen? Okay. I think that means sad. Does it mean sad? Crestfallen. I think it means sad. Like, I want to Google it right now, but we have so much to get through. So if I'm wrong with what crestfallen means, put it in the comments below. Either way, it's a very fun way for the voiceover lady to use her word of the day in the show. And now we see that Paul is wearing what all villains do, a turtleneck. And he can be ready to be served as the flambe Frenchie at the din-din table. The experts are also ready for the mess, and 2 Shillings is doing some sort of Aladdin, Princess Jasmine cosplay in this sort of purple number with the gold trim.
Very final dinner party of the entire experiment.
And it's also a test of resilience for the couple, isn't it? If my partner went out and met this other person, is this something we can repair from, that we can bounce back from and actually start a new chapter in the relationship?
I wasn't paying attention to anything that she was saying. All I could hear was, dazzling place I never knew. And yet this will be the same toxic world that we've always known. This is not a new world, and it never will be. Also, I know that they're the only couple that could actually make it work out of this experiment, but...
Cheers to the last dinner party.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers to our relationship.
Yes.
The amazing person and wife I have here today. I'm very thankful and very happy. Thank God I'm in the relationship with you, because I know it's real. You you know it's real.
Yeah.
Just from that last task. It was sort of like the last, I guess, tick of the box for us, I think.
There's a difference between curiosity and being curious and actioning that curiosity.
100%.
Like,
Okay, guys, you guys need to read the script with more feeling. I know we're up to episode 36, but the more that you go on about being the best couple, the less I'm actually buying it. You are really laying it on just a little bit too thick. Over to Adrian and Awhina, and before entering, they're not good. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely shocked. What? They're not good.
You know, I'm pretty good at taking accountability sometimes, and this is one of those times where it's absolutely not my fault. I'm miserable.
Adrian, you just don't give a you don't listen, you don't care.
You're gonna ruin your own me.
You know what? Maybe you should ask for a better match.
Ooh. So it feels like they haven't done a full Rhi and Jack scenario and fixed things overnight. Also, upon finding out that both Adrian and Awhina went on their final test dates, did Long John say something very particular here?
Their other potential match.
Is he saying shit? Shit. He did. Oh, Long John, you're just as messy as the rest of us. Awhina expresses what we heard in the last episode, that she has some regrets about going on this date, and also she feels that both of them doing it kind of says a lot. Yeah, like the F is for fail, not for fun.
Awhina, do you regret going on it?
I felt like we failed that task. Hindsight, I was kind of like, I feel like we both failed.
But she didn't answer Jeff's question.
I did.
So
I
just
actually
answered
did.
it.
I did. I
you
did. You listen
regret
to
it?
me?
I mean, you did a big
I actually
answer.
said I regret it. I regret it because I feel like you and I both failed.
So I copped it for going, and she went. Figure that one out.
God, this guy is so toxic. We forgot for a hot second, but we're back. I do get it. Awhina can be a little bit much with her emotions, but she makes a lot of sense to me. She feels guilty that she went on this date, and she also knew full well that old mate was going to go on this date, and it says a lot for the state of their relationship. They can try and laugh and say like, oh, we're doing so much better after the retreat, which was the weirdest turnaround, and none of us bought it. Speaking of not buying things, Jack and Rhi enter together with the same level of delusion that we've come to expect from them. None of the other Love Lab rats can actually believe what is happening in front of them, and yet they've seen this before, so seeing is believing that they're pretending again. Carina arrives and she shares that Paul has sent her 3 text messages, but he hasn't called. I'm guessing she didn't reply to those text messages, but he still didn't call.
like everything that we have built together, it's out the window for me.
What did he say when he walked into the house?
Ran up to me and gave me the biggest hug and kiss and was like, I missed you so much. He's like, I just couldn't wait to see you.
Because it was class A deflecting. And the deflection was also really because of the speed of the way that he was talking. He was like, but he was just curious. Finally, some alarm bells are actually going off for Carina. Like, finally, like punching the door and that task where he like really pushed her under the bus, those weren't alarm bells. But now she can hear a faint ringing. This made me laugh though. She is asking questions like, what is a soulmate? I don't think you're going to find that answer here in this warehouse where they film this very toxic program. Punch the door may not have called, but he certainly did do something very sweet for you.
Brought her coffee and a little patisserie this morning and dropped it off to her at her door, and just didn't really hear from her, so didn't even get a thank you.
Oh, you didn't even get a thank you. What did you expect? Like, you've been through a couple of fights with Carina before and you haven't learned how she reacts to these kind of things. Carina's the kind of girl who wants you to be obsessed with her 24/7. And that especially includes when you're mad at her. You just needed to be fully obsessed with her, and dropping her off for a little treat and then not like making you a part of that treat was never going to go well. Oh, Paul, he does enter to a very frosty reception and he wants to chat with Carina, but...
Dinner is served.
Oh, God, there's just no energy. There's nothing. This is the last time that we're going to see that. And that's all you could do for us, dinner is served, guy? Come on. What a shame for Paul, though. Well, I guess dinner is served, and there is no chance for Paul to coerce his TV bride before they chow down on Paul. Side note, if you do love Mafs and the trash mess and drama that comes with it, make sure you become a member. Oh, yes. Right here on Wilko Rehashed on YouTube, you can become a member. You'll get all the episodes of everything I do first, because sometimes I do things ahead of time and I got to hold them for a little bit. Plus, you'll get to see the first season of Rehashed I ever did. It's season 8. Yes, the one with Bruce, as demanded by you, even though it's horrendous and I wish it would never see the light of day. You can see it right now if you become a member. There's just one tier, that's it, and you'll get everything first, and there's a bunch of stuff already there for you right now. Moving on, Carina doesn't even want to sit next to Punch the Door, and Paul goes on to explain his side of why he did this. It's just this silly little thing, or as he puts it, something stupidly curious. He says that when he got there, he fully realized that he'd done something wrong, but you didn't play it like that when you returned to Carina, did you? You sold it as like a laugh and you were so yucked by, what was her name? I can just remember the colours of the lip and the jacket, but I can't remember her name. Hannah? Anyway, that is not the energy you brought back to the Love Lab Rat Maze. If you'd come in and you said, I've made a huge mistake, that would be different. But you tried to laugh it off and trick her and deflect your best.
I know, I was isolated in that room and I don't honestly, it's like I had a bloody donkey brain for a second. It's like I wasn't thinking straight. It is not an excuse. That's how I was. I'm not trying to justify myself. I'm just saying that this is how I was feeling at the moment that's what I was thinking when I took this decision.
Well, it's offensive to donkeys. I don't even think donkeys would make that stupid decision. How dare you bring the donkey community into this? Also, I think donkeys might be packing a little bit more. I don't know for sure. Although I was at a dinner party and I heard a rumour about one of the grooms, and apparently one of them does pack. So Paul is now making this excuse that he was isolated in this room, and because he was isolated, he just didn't know what to do. It feels like any time that you're away from Carina, you go and make stupid decisions. But that's life. She's not going to be able to keep you leashed the entire time, even though that might be her dream.
Only focusing on the bad, on the wrong tonight, and on all the things that I did wrong. And yeah, it kind of just feels like that. All the good things that I've done was just, or has been almost forgotten. It's like,
shut up. There's been so many dinners where you have been celebrated for being this incredible couple, but the most recent thing you did, 24 hours prior, was shitty. So of course they're going to focus on that. Do you not get the idea of the show? This is what the dinner parties are for. Jeff decides to get messy because he wants just a little bit more airtime just to see if he can get that role on Home and Away. He asks Paul, and he says this is a genuine question of interest. How was the date, Paul? And Paul's company line has not changed. Apparently he was chatting about Carina the entire time, which is not how I saw it. Anyway, nothing he says is going to fly with the group. Carina finally gets the chance to speak up.
You jumped at the idea, and that's what worries me. It's so easy to do that in this experiment. What's going to happen on the outside world when you do get attention?
I took that as a task, and I didn't think, once again, I would have never gone out of my way to sneak out, go see someone else. I just want you to know that I don't have that in me. I'm not the kind of guy who has this capability of sneaking out behind your back.
Oh, yes, you are. If you're saying things like, oh, I know I don't have the capability of going out of my way to do this, but, post this show, you're going to have a lot of that served to you on a platter. I just never really bought anything that Paul was selling. Not from his job title as wellness advisor, and certainly not the reason when they obviously met each other and they were like, hey, we knew each other and he goes to me. Not even his excuse. It all sounded too prepared, all of the right words, but with nothing behind them.
I just thought that maybe Carina was going to be a little bit more, just to be more receptive. She is still quite upset. She is still in that funny, weird headspace. She's still questioning the relationship. She's still questioning my sincerity. And
yeah, Paul being so shocked at this stage, it sort of says to me that in past relationships, Paul clearly doesn't really have to do too much to get his previous partners to forgive him for the shitty things that he has done. Carina would be wise to just leave this TV marriage where it belongs, in the gutter. This might be a bit of a stretch, but I feel like Paul is the kind of guy to do this whole oh no, you're crazy for thinking this thing. Just a little bit gaslighty. To go, no, that's not what it was. Yeah, but you still did it, and her feelings are still justified that you did a shitty thing. And no matter how many times you apologize.
I genuinely don't know why I did it.
There's no ifs or buts about it. He's betrayed Carina's trust time and time again.
Yeah, we've heard this before. It's the same response when you punch the wall/door. You can't just say, oh, I'm so mad at myself, but then you're going to keep doing the same stupid things. And I also still feel, I know I've said it before, but there's so many other things from this season that we just haven't seen. Because the way the cast reacts, they're like, no, Paul, This is kind of it.
It's not good enough. Continuously apologising and saying sorry. No, you didn't call me. We're in the same apartment complex.
Because I wasn't getting no reply from me, she just doesn't want to see me at all. Just one text back, just an acknowledgement saying like, look, I just need my space, I need my time.
Yeah, but again, look, she should have replied if she wanted some sort of dialogue, but you should know her. Even I can tell that she's the type of person who wants to be like smothered with love and obsessed with. I'm not saying that's right, but there's a lot of people out there like that. And I also tend to agree with some of the comments here on the channel in previous videos that Paul has sort of planned this as a way out of the relationship that he doesn't actually want. Or maybe he did want it and then he did this thing and now he's regretting it because maybe he realized maybe now he wants it. But before, I think he wanted to escape, TJ style. Because he knew that there was going to be plenty of, what's an appropriate word for this? Offerings in the clubs for them later on.
Because I was being fully ghosted.
He ghosted me.
Ghosted.
Yeah. Remember when we went on that first hike and then we were meant to go out for dinner that Saturday night? Remember that? I started getting ready and I came to meet you out and I said, I'm so sorry, it's just going to be a boys' night, but I really, 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 really want to see you. And then I was like, what the I was like,
what does that have to do?
Because bringing back memories, you're not consistent. Yeah. Didn't really appreciate him saying that I ghosted him because it's making me think, wow, well, that's rich coming from you.
Yeah, and how does it feel getting a taste of your own French medicine? It's just medicine, didn't need to put French there. We also, did we know that? I don't know if we knew the whole backstory. Like, we knew that he ghosted her, but we didn't know exactly the whole thing. So they did the hike and then they planned to catch up that night and then she got herself all ready and then he went, oh, nah. That's because he wasn't that into her. It wasn't that, oh, it wasn't the right time and I wasn't in the right headspace. No, you met her in the morning and then at night you went, nah, she's probably going to be too much hard work, you know? And then you didn't want to catch up with her. All of a sudden it was a boys' night. Shut up, Paul.
Like, have you not heard my tone of voice? Because,
like, are you serious? The biggest thing that offends so much and I feel so betrayed is that you literally were in my family home the week before, Paul. My dad gave you a yes. Like, that does not happen. You came into my home. He treated you like a son. The world was given to you. Everything that you wanted. Then the next week you're going on a date with another woman.
Oh, the world was given to him. That comment specifically makes me think like he's putting it on. Like, can you not hear me trying to sound contrite? Can you not hear the tone that I'm giving you? Because I'm giving you this tone because I think it's going to get me out of this situation. Also, dad gave you the yes? What does that mean? The yes to like propose for real? This guy has got himself too deep and he's really trying to get himself out of it. And I can't tell if he was trying to get out of it and then he made a mistake because he was trying to sabotage it to stop it and now he regrets it, or if he's happy that it's all blowing up. I don't know. Carina is finally speaking up for herself. I don't know if Paul was given the world. Again, we didn't see too much from that homestay.
Try harder. No, I'm a catch. Anyone would die to be with me. I'm a catch, and that's that. Sorry, I'm a catch.
Yeah, I'm just.
You're great. You're great. That's what you're here for. You're great. Don't fail yourself.
Well, no, apparently I'm just.
You just have to try harder.
Oh, okay, Jacqui, you don't need to be in this. Pause it for a second. The real Paul is starting to be seen here, you know what I mean? He gets a little bit of pressure on him and then, it's no good. Carina's there valuing herself quite highly, but she needs to. She needs to back herself to make sure she doesn't fall into the trap of this Frenchman. She's breaking out of the spell just a little bit, and he's getting frustrated because she's putting herself first and not him. Oh, it is good to value yourself. No, it really, really is. I don't know if I would ever sit at the table and go, I'm a catch. I'm a catch. Just the inside of me would just never let me do that because I just don't think that's true. But that probably says more about me than it does Carina. All right, now we've spent way too much of our night on this narrative. And in the end, Paul just has himself a little bit of cry just to mourn, well, the finish of his very short-lived TV marriage. We must lighten things up in the edit, and we do that with Jacqui and Ryan.
So damn smart. That's literally one of my favourite things, is I can engage with you on so many levels and sometimes get lost along the way.
Someone's getting laid tonight. Jacqui and Ryan are one of the strongest relationships we have. Well, that's a tough day in the office right there.
Jamie doesn't want to swallow that pill that Rhi and Jack are coming off as one of the strongest couples. But don't worry, guys. When you watch this show back, you will know that there is no strength in that relationship at all. It's all a delusion. Once again, it's just too hard of a pivot for me. Jack says the reason she went on the final date was to make sure that going into the final decision, she has all the info she needs. And that info is Corey's number.
Ryan is one of the strongest men I've ever met. He's one of the most physically attractive men I've ever met. And I'm now attracted to him. So in terms of
I'm now attracted to him
as a potential life partner, absolutely yes.
You see him as a potential life partner? Where is the trolling in this show? You're saying you're just trolling this man and whatever, but I don't know. You're sleeping with him. It doesn't feel like trolling. The table is just as shook as we are, and Jeff calls out how hard it is for them to believe the turnaround. Again, this other turnaround after it being so bad. Jacqui talks about her grass and how it's being watered, and so it's got to be far greener than across that old Tory fence. Then Adrian decides to make a huge call.
I've been pretty good at predicting certain things. I'm going to say, once the experiment ends, they're going to stay together for some time. It makes no sense to me or anyone else, but it makes sense to them, and that's why post-experiment, they're going to stay together and shock everyone. And I said it here first.
Yeah. And shockingly, it's not one of the dumbest things you've said. There's still many other stupid things that you've said. With this, you are also wrong. Oh, but Adrian does get questioned on his date.
Oh, she's starting a business, I have my own business. She's into the gym. Right. Same as Awhina, but we had to say, the only difference was she lived in Sydney. Perth is the furthest state away from my family's base. I sort of came to a realisation that the long distance is the hardest challenge. And I care for Awhina, but I'm not willing to do long distance for a long period of time. So I feel pressured that I have to make the move to Perth.
This is not the tune that you were singing in Perth. Sounded very different. Now you've had this realization that she lives in Perth. For a man who's been very good at taking accountability, which he doesn't need to do in this episode because he's done nothing wrong. And also for a man who's made a lot of good calls, what would happen in the future. This is dumb of you to just be realizing now the long distance thing. Because before the story was, we'll get out of here and we'll make it work. We'll just make it work somehow. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out bit by bit. Remember God's plan. But isn't it funny how God's not a part of this decision now, but he's definitely thinking, no, I'm out.
And I asked myself, why did I go?
So now you're questioning if you actually have strong feelings for Awhina or not?
No, I do care for her. Again, do I care enough to pack up bags tomorrow and leave? No.
I feel like everything's turned quite
So do I.
What? You flip-floppy. Everywhere. Adrian, stop it. So you care for Awhina, but you don't care for Awhina enough, and then you get questioned so you don't care for her? And he's like, no, I care, but I don't care enough. I'm confused. He says one thing and then, can I do long distance? No. Can I do long distance? Maybe, possibly, could do in the future, but not long term. How is Awhina still there? You've known for so long that he's not into this. He's not into you being a mum, and he's certainly not into you living on the West Coast. Awhina does rightly point out that he's now saying that the date that he went on, and they both went on, was a mistake. But directly after the date, he was in the room saying, oh, whatever, whatever, I just took it as a task, whatever. But now it's definitely a mistake. This is classic Adrian. Before, he would say nothing to Awhina and we'd all be like, whatever, this guy's infuriating. And then he'd get on the couch with the experts and have all the right answers and the right words to say. Maybe he doesn't know until the script is given to him.
I felt pressured that you want to answer from me that I cannot give you right now. I'm feeling pressured that if I don't move, this doesn't work.
I just feel like your language today is so different to your language when you walk
You know
up
exactly
into the
where I
apartment.
stand. I don't really see myself moving right now. I've said from the start, do I see myself moving, for the right person, eventually, maybe one day, if that, I don't know.
For the right person, that's the issue, Adrian. Let's not hide behind long distance. I am not the right person. Say it.
Yeah, right now it's uncertainty.
Oh, right now it's just uncertainty. Okay, so he's gone to the school of TJ of just let's sit on the fence. But you don't want to be with her. Why are you wasting her time? She's a mum. And look, I get it. Awhina should prioritize her own family and her own life over this guy. And she should have done it a long time ago. But stringing her along, that's never going to make you look like a good guy. Jesus. What confuses me about so many of these couples, especially Adrian and Awhina and Jack and Rhi, is that they go through these really bad times where it's very obvious that the relationship is hitting a a big roadblock that's not going to be easily get past. Like, so he's not going to get past the whole her being a mum, and he's not going to get past her not living anywhere around Sydney. And so you need to like actually talk through these things to find a resolution, and they never do. They just like, oh well, that's a future us problem, and then they go back to banging in the bedroom, and then they forget about it. But they're not actually working through anything. And maybe this falls on the experts. They need to do just something, just like once.
Would you move to Sydney?
Absolutely not.
There you go.
And you know what? I feel like for the right person, she probably would. And Adrian keeps saying things like, I told you from the start, I told you from the start. And you can't even argue with him because with many things, he did kind of tell you from the start. He wasn't in from the start. He's just here to get some followers for him and his twin, and he succeeded.
Do you see any point going to final vows?
No.
Absolutely right this instant, no. A big no.
I stayed for him, but it's not been worth it the entire time. I don't want to be here wasting my time anymore.
Go.
What the hell does that mean?
Final vows.
Fifi, you okay?
And good that you finally brought it up. Going to final vows is a waste of time. Go home to your child and your family and kiss Billy. Where's Billy right now? Don't date Paul. Like, I know that he lives West Coast, but don't date Paul. Don't do that. Awhina, backstage at the warehouse, is crying, and she's talking that she's like put him on a pedestal and he has done nothing in return. And that's been the general gist from Adrian the entire season. The big question is, will you and I make it to final vows? And if you want me to stick with this series, holy Jesus, I need you to comment final vows below. And I'll see you for the next episode of Married at First Sight Rehashed.